Hey yo, what up though? It's your boy Brad, B Rad Butler II, and we are here with the Living Purpose Podcast where we educate, motivate, and celebrate those who are in the community doing things to better the community. And we want to take the time to make sure that we put them on Front Street so everybody knows who they are. So let's get into it. All right, today's guest is my guy. I literally just met my man like a week or two ago. My guy, SK.
What's going on, man?
Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank
Appreciate you,
very much
brother.
for having me.
Hey, listen. So, man, you are a unique individual, right?
Yes, sir.
And I know y'all watching, kind of like, man, you seem decent dude, but not. I'm trying to tell you, he's actually a very unique individual because my guy. I'm going to let you tell everyone what you do as your profession.
So, I'm a snowboarder.
Wait, not just the snow, because I already know SK. Since I met you, I know you're a modest dude, right? You're not big on talking about yourself and your accolades and the things that you've done, the impact that you had on the community and things like that. But not only are you a snowboarder, you are also a sponsored snowboarder through the company 686,
Correct?
which is a big deal.
Yes, sir, it is.
Right. So before we get into all that, because I know people hear about the glory, the glitz, the glamour, all the stuff that looks good, and all the shiny stuff. What I know the people want to know is as soon as you tell. Matter of fact, here's a better question for you. What is the response that you get from people when you tell them, "Hey, I'm a snowboarder"? When they ask, like, "What do you do for a living?" You respond with, "I'm a snowboarder."
Correct. I get all types of looks, honestly. I get all types of looks. Some people could actually see me doing it. Some people, like, where did you start? Like, how do you snowboard? Like, where do you snowboard? There's no snow in New Jersey.
Right. Because that was the first thing that crossed my mind. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, snowboarding off what? Where? What? Like, how we doing that? But okay. So tell us where you're located at, where you do your snowboarding, and then from there you can tell us how you actually got into snowboarding in the first place.
Okay, so as of right now, I am located at Big Snow. I am a snowboard ambassador there. For those who don't know what Big Snow is, Big Snow happens to be our first indoor snow slope, the only one in North America. So you ain't gonna see you ain't gonna see one nowhere else at the moment besides New Jersey.
Right. So, yeah, when I heard that, I was like, oh. Now that I think about it, because I knew I heard of the mall, the area, right? Because it was
American Dream
American
Mall.
Dream Mall, right? I know I'd heard of it. I hadn't been there myself, but I knew I heard of it, seen some stuff, and I thought I saw that there was a whole snow lift thing that they got going on there. But I was like, I forgot all about it because I'd never been there. And then when I met you and you started talking, I said, yo, I did see something along those lines. Okay, yeah, that's crazy. So walk us through what was the first time that you went snowboarding. What was that experience like?
So I remember like it was yesterday. The first time was December 14th, 2019, which just happened to be a couple days after they just opened up. I'm sitting here on the gram, as everybody's always on Instagram. Sitting on Instagram, and I seen a friend of mine. Shout out to Waldo. I seen him there, and when I seen his videos, I'm like, wait, what is this? Where's he at? How is he doing this stuff? Like, so I hit him up, like, yo, bro, what's up? Where you at? And he told me where he was at. So I guess that following day, I lined up my cousin and my little brother, and we just took off there. And when we got there, it's a crazy feeling, to be honest. It was a crazy feeling because I never seen snow indoors before.
Right, because I'm thinking to myself, I've never seen it either. So to me, I know that had to have been the craziest experience for you because one, you're like, I'm in New Jersey. It doesn't really, snow like that for us to be able to snowboard, like that. But then, okay, we're indoors, so they manufactured a whole snow slope for us, and it's all included. Like, you can do everything. You can ski, you can snowboard.
Snow bikes, and we even have sled in there.
Wow. Okay. So you got everything going on, right? Like everything that you could want, the whole experience. So you don't have to go all the way to the West Coast.
You don't have to go all the way to the West Coast. You don't have to spend a lot of money because snowboarding is very expensive. I will say that. It is expensive, but Big Snow definitely paves the way for a lot of people that think that snowboarding is expensive, and Big Snow is actually cheap to me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel though, as my first time snowboarding at Big Snow versus a real mountain, I did a pretty good job because I didn't pay a lot of money.
Right.
My first time.
Now, all right, so I'm gonna help y'all with that because Big Snow is not cheap, but it is inexpensive in comparison to some of the stuff that you've been exposed to.
Absolutely.
Or like some stuff is like, whoa, man, like bruh, like we're not gonna be able to get into this sport right here because in most cases, you know, people coming from an urban community, we don't get into golf, we don't get into snowboarding, some of these sports like that because it's very expensive for the equipment, the coats, everything that you need, like paying to go to the places where they have a facility that allows you to do that, like do that sport, So that in itself is a hindrance, like a roadblock for a lot of people in our community.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a question. Take me back, all the way back, like your upbringing. Like how did SK get started with everything in general? Because I know you didn't out the gate just start off snowboarding. Like this is something that's somewhat fairly new to your life, in comparison to your lifestyle in general. But take me all the way back to the beginning. Like who was SK? In the beginning, some of the things that you went through to lead you up to where you currently are today.
All right, guys. So, guys, be patient with me. I'm new to this. So basically, I'm born and raised in New Brunswick.
Right.
Born and raised in New Brunswick my whole life. Lost my mother when I was 7 years old. I was in the foster system. Me and my brothers and sisters, we were in the foster system. Fast forward a little bit, we ended up living with these foster families, and then my dad actually ended up getting custody of us to come back home. So we were able to go back home to my dad, and we stayed with my dad pretty much until my dad got sick, which was, I might be skipping some things, but which was a 2014-ish, a little bit before 2014. My dad ended up getting sick, and I was in school. I graduated high school from New Brunswick High School. I also went to community college, which I only did like a year due to my dad being sick. I came back home, and we were going through things with my father. He wasn't doing good.
Health-wise?
Health-wise,
Okay.
Yeah. He was on dialysis. I don't know if people know what dialysis is, but he ended up starting to do dialysis, and that would take a lot of his energy away from him. And, just from watching him go through everything that he's went through, and then to get that phone call on October 3rd, 2014, that he was gone, that was like the biggest wake-up call of my life, knowing that my father was gone. That basically was like, that was telling me to leave the streets alone.
Okay, yeah.
When I say I was in the streets, I was always outside. I was clubbing with my boys. Anything that has to do with outside, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were always outside doing things. Some of it was good things, some of it wasn't so good. But at that time, I was a young person at the time, so, you know what I mean? You just living your life with in that time frame.
Right.
And being stabbed was definitely, it was scary.
Yeah. So that's a message for some of y'all out there who, if you didn't catch the message, just because you aren't necessarily, out there selling drugs or, doing anything illegal, operating outside the law, bro, just being outside, in the wrong place at the wrong time can get you caught up. For some of y'all who always want to be on the scene, you always want to be in the mix, like, come on, go take you behind the house. Like, go in the house. Or go someplace where it's a safe environment. Like, sometimes, because we all have been through that, especially around that age, when like your early 20s and stuff like that, and it's like, I got a little bit of freedom, so I can do what I want. I can go here. So I'm gonna do whatever I want.
I'm gonna do what I want, when I want, how I want. And
right.
That will really get you hurt.
And get you caught up, right? Get you caught in the mix. Right, because I had a situation where I got caught in the mix or something, like, just because I'm out bored, I didn't know, trying, and then you get mixed up in some nonsense. So, okay, so what happened? What changed after that situation?
What changed for me, basically, when you're looking at death in the eyes almost, pretty much. When you getting transported to the ambulance, and you don't even know the whole ride, but you're from the city, so you know how long it would take to get from A to B, but blacking out and not remembering, what was going on, and then waking up on the table with a big bright light over you, like a movie scene.
Right.
And the doctor's just telling you, you're lucky to be alive.
Right.
That was the changer right there.
Yeah,
Absolute changer right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and whenever I hear people with stories like that, wherein you have a situation where it really, really seems like, okay, this should be the end for this person. Like, everything is telling you it should be the end for this person, but somehow, they make it through it. I have to believe that there's a higher power. God is, is covering you, looking up after you, basically saying, listen, I got more work for you to do. So I can't allow you to leave, right now. And I really think that, with the work that you do right now, with being an African-American male, with the locks, you in an urban community, with our swagger, I know y'all can't see you on the camera, but I'm talking about from head to toe, my man is matching, right? You got the foam posits that match the hoodie. So with the swagger, that we have, and then you're taking that and bringing that over to snowboarding, right?
Yes, sir.
Like, most people, they don't see that. They're not around that. Like, that's not a part of their proximity. And for you to be able to do that, like, I can clearly see why your sponsor is 686. As soon as they saw you and saw that you like, oh, you can hold your own on a snowboard, yo, we got to get behind my man. And now you in magazines, doing interviews, taking all types of professional pictures and stuff like that. Even to the point where, and I'm going to let you break this down, you got your daughter snowboarding with you now. And how old is your daughter now?
She's about to be 11 next month.
11. Did she? How old was she when she started?
She started at 9 or 10.
9 or 10 years old. I know grown men and women, like, ain't even met a snow angel, let alone hopped on a snowboard, right? Or some skis, right? But yet you got it's exposure, right? I'm talking about, I tell people that all the time. It's exposure. You got to get around different environments.
Absolutely.
People that are doing different things, because just by being exposed to something different, it took your life in a completely different direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say one thing real quick.
Yeah.
From being here, from when I met you last week, you had said something about being around toxic people.
Yeah.
And that plays a part too.
Mm-hmm.
That also plays a big part. Being around people that's no good for you or don't see good in you, those are not the type of people you want to have around you at all, because they're just going to bring you down with them.
Right. Absolutely. So I have to assume that in order for you to get to where you currently are right now, you had to let go of some of the people from your past.
Absolutely. I had to let a couple guys go. I still keep a couple guys next to me. But majority of the part, I definitely had to let a couple guys go. My dad always said this to me growing up. Everybody ain't your friends. Everybody is not your friends. And I ain't understand that. I used to tell him, I used to look at my dad like he was, all right, Dad, yeah, okay, cool.
Right.
But it's really, when our parents tell us something, they not out here trying to hurt us. It's for a reason that they told us. And I ain't listened why he was alive, but I definitely understand it now.
Yeah, no, I completely understand where you're coming from, because there's been plenty of times where my mom, my dad told me something, the elder told me something, and I didn't listen the first time, and I might have had to learn that lesson the hard way. But, what you're talking about your father, I definitely want to give him his flowers and give a quick shout out to your father, while, for the time that he was here with us. Bro, he went and he fought for his kids.
Absolutely.
He fought to get his kids back. So shout out to all the fathers out there, the single fathers, the fathers that's in relationships, they got baby mom, whatever it is, the ones who are actually doing the work, showing up every day for their kids, whether they in the home with them or not, whatever the case, they're making their presence known, right? Whether the relationship didn't work out with the mom, it don't matter. They make their presence known that, listen, that's my child, and I'm going to be there for them no matter what. So huge shout out to the fathers out there taking care of their business, taking care of their kids, man. We love you. We appreciate y'all. And, man, I know you don't always get your flowers, so I want to make sure I take the time to make sure you give the fathers their flowers on here. So, listen, with you being a snowboarder and doing all that you do, let the people know, because they might not know, what comes with you actually, like the benefits that come with you being a sponsored snowboarder.
Okay, so I'm still new into the snowboard game. I only been riding for about 18 months now.
Sheesh.
Around there.
Hold up. We can't just run right by that. He only been snowboarding for 18 months and he's sponsored. He's sponsored with. You see his snowboard behind us, right? Bruh, I'm telling you, when we touch something, it's just crazy. Like when our people touch something, like we automatically just
It's crazy.
we go to work, bro.
Yeah, we go to work. We clock in immediately.
That's crazy. So no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you good?
No. I'm saying go ahead and let us know about the sponsors and what that entails, how that worked out for you and everything. What what are they doing as far as the benefits to what benefits you get from being sponsored by a company like this?
Well, first I gotta give a big shout out.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
Big shout out to Mr. Russell Winfield.
Hey.
If you guys don't know who he is, he's the first African American pro snowboarder, the Jackie Robinson of this. You know the rest.
Yeah.
So basically, it was because of this man right here that I am in the position that I am today. It all started with one of my boys hitting me up, saying that they wanted that Snowboard Mag wanted to put our picture in the magazine at the time where the George Floyd incident had happened.
Okay.
So they wanted to put Black riders inside the magazine. So I was told about it. I reached back to Snowboard Mag and got in contact with them, and they ended up using one of my photos, which happens to be in this magazine. And it's just a picture. It wasn't like no story written under me or anything like that. It was just a picture that was there. And I just said, I looked at it, I was like, all right, no worries. From there, that's when I started doing some homework. I wanted to find out, who this guy was on this cover right here when I got my hands on the magazine. So I went and did some homework, and I found out he's Russell Winfield. And I reached out to him on social media. I didn't really think that I was going to get a reply back.
You shot your shot.
Not for nothing, but, being where I'm from, you reach out to rappers and everybody just to say something, and nobody really responds back to you. So I was, I seen him that he was on the cover. I said, y'all got to reach out to him and let him know, what I was trying to get myself into with the snowboard community, and also thank him for, for where he's at. If it wasn't for him, I don't think it would be a lot of African Americans snowboarding. He's definitely a role model in this game, and shout outs to Russell, man. Thank you for everything, bro. That's when, like I said, my picture got into this magazine, and then I did some homework, found out who he was. We ended up linking. He hit me back on the gram, and we stayed in connection ever since then. And then I remember I got asked to do a shoot with Burton Snowboards, which happened to be at Big Snow. At the time, I didn't have no snowboard drip, as they call it.
Right.
I was just out here wearing some of my friends' clothes that they made. And when I went to the shoot, I received a text from Russell, and he asked me, certain questions or whatever, and asked me, was I doing a shoot? And I told him, yeah. And then it led from that 2-minute conversation to me being introduced to Mr. Sarge, a.k.a. Patrick from 686.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Sarge, Mr. Patrick from 686. I don't really snowboard, but I'm pretty sure I probably could. I got an athletic background. So if you want to send me something, you want me to come out there and show you what's up, I can do that. I mean, I just want to throw that out there.
So, yeah, I met Sarge. Oh, I haven't met these people yet. It's all been through social media and on Instagram. But I met Sarge, and I'm talking about from the first conversation that me and this man had. It just went up from there. It went like skyrocketing. I was shocked to even hear what he was telling me and the things that he was telling me. And next thing you know, I had a package at my front door, a big one too.
But now, how soon after the conversation that you had with him did the package show up?
If I'm not mistaken, that package came about like 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Maybe earlier, but if I'm not mistaken, around 2 weeks that package came.
Wow. Okay, and what was in the package? What we talking about?
We talking brand new jackets. We talking gloves. We talking face masks. Anything to keep you warm on snow pretty much. Anything keep you warm. And when I opened it, I never got something like this before. I never, got something like this so big from somebody, and it was just like, I didn't want to open it at home. So I took the box, I took it to work with me. And I opened it at work with all my friends, all my team members at work.
Okay.
And basically, I didn't do that on purpose, but I just came in there, opened the box, and showed them the love and let them know, like, we all could be anywhere we want to be right now. We could all be on. I mean, it just takes one person or two people to get on. So when they saw that box and we all opened it together, it was like, wow, oh my God, like that's what they just sent you, and it went up from there.
Now I know with the sponsorship that you have, you're not only getting gear for yourself, right?
Absolutely. I'll get gear for my daughter as well.
You get gear for your daughter, right? And they even send you gear for you to give away.
Absolutely. And that's the fun part. To be honest with you, I like that part even better.
Right.
I don't mind. I love getting the gear for myself. I don't mind getting that gear for myself. But it's the fun part when you actually can get so many pieces and you can actually bless so many individuals. And, like, that's the most fun thing about it, being able to give back to the community, or just, when I say community, I mean my community, the snowboard community, any community, just to give them back, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It means a lot, because these people don't have to do that for me. Right. They don't have to give me anything. 686, they could have just gave me my box and said, we liked what we saw, thank you, and, could have kept it pushing, but they stayed with me since day one, and then we still rocking out. It's almost a year that I've been with 686.
Right.
So it's really, I'm happy that I get stuff for me and my daughter, but I'm more happy when I'm able to get stuff and give it away to the people.
Right. Now we was talking earlier, my guy D Muse was up in here, the owner of Above Our Studios. So real quick, I want to give a shout out to Above Our Studios for allowing us to be here and shoot the podcast here, the Living Purpose podcast. D Muse, we appreciate you. Thank you for what you do. On top of that, D Muse did say he need a jacket. He said he need a jacket.
I'm gonna have to call Sarge for that. I'm gonna try to get in tune with Sarge with that. He wants to make something happen, hopefully.
All right, D Muse, I tried. Listen, I shot a shot for you. I'm gonna try to see what we can do. All right.
And if we can't get it, I'll take the jacket off my back and give it to you. How about that?
But you know what? I'm not even surprised by that statement. That's just the type of dude you are. So listen, I know he appreciate that. But we're gonna get that thing handled, right? We're gonna get you a jacket, right? We'll get you a nice snowboard jacket.
We're gonna need him. We gotta get him on snow too. Make sure he's on snow.
Okay. All right. So that's the agreement.
That's the agreement.
You can get a jacket.
You gotta be on snow.
But you gotta be on the snow. You gotta come up there and see my man. You gotta come up there for a session, right?
You gotta come up for a session.
All right. Cool. So that's a bet. So you already said, D Muse, you want a jacket. That's how you gonna get it. There it is. Right? So help me with this. Walk us through how you got to the point that you were able to actually get the sponsorship and get noticed by 686.
It was pretty much, I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't familiar with no snowboard company brands. I wasn't familiar with any of that. Like I said, I'm still new in the game, and I was definitely new at that time.
Because you were just working at the time, right?
Yeah, at first I just started riding there. First it started with me just riding there, and then I ended up going broke. So when I mean broke, like, I spent all my money there, but I was working at like a warehouse or something like that, and I would just really go to that job just to get paid so I could go to Big Snow.
Right.
And when I got to Big Snow one day, I'm like, I was on my last pass. I had bought a 6 pass, and I was on the last one, and I'm like, I don't think I got another $130 to get me through. So I had asked my mans that worked there, shout out to Dougie. I had asked Dougie, like, yo, you guys hiring? And he's like, yeah, sure. And the first thing I told him, I said, I want to be a janitor here. And the reason why I want to be a janitor is because, on all honesty, I don't mind cleaning, but also, like, I didn't see myself working on snow at that time. So I'm like, yo, if I get the job janitor, I could still ride here for free. And, I could improve my riding skills. And that's what I was aiming for. So I walked up in there trying to be a janitor, in all honesty, but they had a different plan for me. They they ended up giving me a job as an instructor there.
Wow. Like, so, okay. So all you really wanted to do was just come there. You was like, I'll listen. I'll clean. Clean the floors, bathrooms, whatever you want me to do.
Absolutely.
I'll do that. Just allow me to be able to snowboard. Just give me access. I'm not asking for no equipment, none of that. Just give me access. I mean, I'll be out here snowboarding on a popsicle stick if you let me. You know what I'm saying? Like some of y'all, that's a message. Y'all not that hungry where you willing to really put everything on the line, back yourself into a corner to the point where, like, there is no, that, like, plan B is reverting back to plan A. Like, from what it sounds like is that at that time, like, your mind was just set on snowboarding, right?
It was just set to snowboard. Like,
and I think at the time, it just brought you peace.
Exactly. It brought me a lot of peace.
Right.
It brought me a lot of peace.
So you weren't even doing it because it was like, man, I want the money. You probably didn't even ask him how much it paid.
I didn't even care about the pay, to be honest with you. I really didn't care about the pay. I already had my own equipment. I just wanted to ride and enjoy what everybody else was enjoying at that time.
Right.
That's pretty much. Like, so I told him I scrubbed the bathrooms, man. Like I've worked in the kitchens at Rutgers before. Mm-hmm. I worked on the garbage can before. I worked for the city before. I've done demolition. I've done a lot of different types of jobs. So me personally, as long as I could feed my family, I ain't really care how I was able to do that. As long as I wasn't hustling or nothing like that.
Right.
But as far as in the working industry, I just wanted to work. I didn't care how I worked.
Right. So, man, just coming into the situation, as humbly as possible, right?
Absolutely.
Because this is whole after the whole situation with you being stabbed. Right, and you're coming in, it's like, okay, I just want to work. I just want to stay out the streets, take care of my daughter, handle my business, pay my bills. Right, I don't care nothing about the type of work that I'm doing. I just want to do that work, take care of my family, do what I need to do, and be able to snowboard.
Absolutely.
And because you approach the situation so humbly, like because you approach the situation as hey man, listen, whatever you got, that's cool with me. They bless you by saying, listen. Nah, we see value in you. Like, we seen you out there. We seen what you could do. We seen you coming back, getting the passes and stuff like that. Bruh, we got a position for you on the snow. Like, how did that make you feel when it went from you saying, I'm cool with just, just being a custodian, being a janitor, to them saying, nah, bro, like, we see you as this. We see value in you.
I was shocked. I was really shocked because at that time, I didn't even know where to start on how to be an instructor. Mm-hmm. Like I said, because I'm new to it, so I didn't know where to start, how to start. I was nervous. It was all types of things going through my head. But that team at Big Snow, shout out to Big Snow, for real. They definitely got a great team there. We're family, like, we argue with each other, like we're brothers and sisters. I mean, like, we go through things, any job goes through. But at the end of the day, when everybody leaves that place, when all the customers leave, when everybody's gone, it's just us there now. It's just the workers. It's the groomers, the ambassadors, the maintenance men. It's just us now. And to be there in that type of atmosphere, when nobody else is there and it's just us and you look around at everybody and you're like, wow, like I got more than what I asked for. I asked to be a janitor. I didn't know I was going to be here with a group of people like this.
Right. Wow. That's like I told you, man. I told you before, man, you have a phenomenal story that I definitely believe that the world needed to hear, needs to know more about. So, after you got the job, working there as now an instructor, right? How did that end up leading you to the point where you end up becoming one of the an ambassador,
snowboarding ambassador,
a snowboarding ambassador, and becoming sponsored by 686?
So pretty much it just went from putting a lot of footage out, a lot of videos, clips as we call them. We call it clips. Just going out there grinding. We would sit there and features. When we say features, it's like a rail or a jump or etc. So if you ever hear me say a feature, I'm speaking about a rail, most likely. We would hike features for hours and hours, and we would just try to do the same trick or learn a new trick, and it pretty much just went from there. Just the environment that was inside of Big Snow. It's a crazy environment in there. Like, if you've never been there, I advise everybody to come there and try it. The environment, the people, that's what just, got me to say, I could snowboard. Like, I'm going to be a snowboarder. I could do this. And I started going out there doing tricks I didn't even know I could do. And it was from there that I got recognized by Mr. Winfield and 686. Everybody asks me that question, and it's been hard to try to explain to a lot of people. When they ask, how'd you get sponsored? Like, how'd you get sponsored so quick? The advice I could just give you guys, and all honesty, is you never know who's watching you. Right. You never know who's watching you, and all you got to do is just go out there and give it your all. There's somebody watching you. You may not think there's nobody watching you, but they're watching you, and that's how I ended up in the position that I am today. People watching me and me just, being, giving back to the snowboard community, whether it's trying to help you learn a new trick or just to get you snowboarding, period. Like, I love to see new people come in to Big Snow and not know nothing about a board, because that gives me the opportunity to show them how to really snowboard. And I can honestly say I've taught over 50 people plus how to snowboard.
Right. And they can actually snowboard.
And they can actually snowboard. Right. I'll give you an incident where during the summertime we had Camp Biggs. Okay. So it was basically a four day program, and you sign your kids up for 4 days, and they have 4 days to come to us and learn how to snowboard. And I had this one kid, his name's Ryan. I remember his name like yesterday. His name's Ryan. He's Asian too. And he came in there, didn't know anything, just like me. Didn't know how to ride, didn't know how to do anything. And he was motivated, though. Everything that I was telling him, he kept wanting to do it. So I worked with him for the 4 day period, and then I worked with him again. His mom bought him another Camp Big Pass to do it again with me. And that's when I realized, like, this is where I belong, because once I worked 2 weeks with him straight, that third week, he was in the park. And when I say park, that's where the features and the jumps and stuff are at. Okay. He was in the park hitting features by himself. And I just sat back and was like, wow, that was my work. Yeah. And it felt good to be able to see that. And that's when I just knew, like, this is where I want to be at. This is where I belong at. Wow. I want to teach people. It's not – I'm very blessed to have my sponsor. I'm very blessed to have the people that's around me. But with my age, I don't think I'm ever going to go pro, and that's okay. But I know that I can make a kid be pro one day. Right. Or even my daughter, for that. I can make her even be pro one day. So that's the goal right now. I'm not even trying to be a pro snowboarder at this moment. I want to see the kids be a pro snowboarder. And just by Ryan coming in, not knowing anything, within 2 weeks, he was riding, turning, doing ollies, jumping off the jump, and then now he's at a mountain somewhere probably right now.
Wow, that's crazy. And that turnaround happened how fast? How from when you started working with him to when he was able to go into the park? How much time did you spend with him?
Honestly, it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So what was that? 8 days?
Wow.
8 days with him. 8 days and 3 hours a day.
Wow.
And he wasn't just my only kid. I had like 4 kids or 3 kids at that time too. So we had to teach all of the kids. Right. Like, I had to teach all of them. And they all did the same thing too. They came in there not knowing nothing. And when they came down here riding regular, which is, the normal way that you would ride, and then they learned switch, which is the opposite side of the way you would ride. And when I seen them doing that, I didn't even do that when I first started riding. So to see them, to learn everything that I taught them, they picked it up just like that. It was an awesome feeling, like so awesome to see these kids just come in there and change the game.
That's beautiful, right? Because like I said earlier, just that exposure, that level of exposure to be able to connect with those kids like that and show them something they would not have normally been able to experience and see and do, on their own or under normal circumstances. Now they have an experience that, they, for a lifetime, they'll share that with their kids, they'll share that with their grandkids and things of that nature. So, and much respect to what you're doing and what you've been doing. And, man, I appreciate it, bro. Like I said, when I first met you, I was like, somebody got to hear this. Somebody got to know about this story. So, Kyla, how much time we got left? How long we been going? We good?
Over 27 minutes.
Okay, cool. So, and that's on that or that? So that one's
This
longer.
one is 41.
Yep, we good. All right, so we're gonna close it out with this. Let the people know what had to change. Like I know you had that breaking point that happened with you, right? You know, with the incident of you being stabbed, being injured. But what was the self-development that you had to create within yourself that allowed you to get to where you currently are? Like, what was that shift that really happened in your mind?
I'm gonna be honest. Hanging around bad people,
Okay.
hanging around people that weren't, how can I say, your so-called friends. You know,
Right.
people saying that to your friends and then they turning on you outside in front of everybody else. Like that was my breaking point. You know, going through that. You know, having people come to my house and just crash on my couch and I'm thinking everybody brothers. We all and then when we go outside, into the real world, it's like, man. It ain't nothing, man. Like I was just sleeping on your couch. You this, you that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the turning point right there. And it was like I could do better in life, and I have a purpose here. And like I always said to myself, like before I was even stabbed, growing up, I just said, I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to do something positive with my life. Like I didn't want to be no rapper or anything like that. I know I can't rap, so I was out the picture. Ball, football, basketball, I ain't making it in that. Sorry. I didn't even know I was gonna make it into snowboarding, but to just be able to just strap in and go down a hill, and not just any hill either. Like you guys may see the mountains through pictures and videos and all that, but you haven't seen a mountain unless you stood on top of it with your own eyes.
Right.
And that's like the best thing, to be honest with you. Like to come from out of the hood to go into to the mountains, and you just standing at the top and you just see the beautiful clouds and you see mountains and trees and you don't see nothing else.
Right.
You don't see nothing else. And then it's like you at the top. Like you at the top. You ain't at the top by yourself because there's a lot of other riders and skiers and snowboarders. But it's like I'm at the top. You know what I'm saying? And like when I think about New Brunswick, it's like people look at New Brunswick like we the bottom. You know what I mean? It's the bottom. New Brunswick the trenches, or New Brunswick's this and that, and they gave New Brunswick a bad name. So when I stand on top of a mountain, I see I see bigger things, and that's when I told myself, I could be somebody in my community. I might not be the mayor, or I might not be this great basketball player or this famous football player, but I could definitely, bring some change to my city one day.
Something. I can create something.
Exactly. I could create something and bring some change to the city one day.
Thank you so much for being on here, man. We appreciate you, man. Listen, it's your boy Brad B-Rad Butler II, and I encourage every last one of you to make your next day your best day, because the work you've done today is not enough to get you through tomorrow. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.